What's up guys, Ben here bringing you another video today. It is Thursday, so it is time for our pick'ems video where I give you my picks for the upcoming week of CDL matches. We have the second week of the Major 1 qualifiers, and then we got a massive 3-week break for the holidays, so it's big for a lot of teams. With the minor tournament coming up on January 10th, teams that go 3-1, 4-0 have a very good chance to get a first round bye, or well, no, good chance, but we'll likely get a first round bye in that single elimination tournament. Everybody else obviously is fighting for seeding, and it gets the momentum in the holiday break. So let's talk about it. We're also going to talk about a big OpTic roster change that was covered a lot in depth yesterday. I'm going to kind of cover it on here when we talk about OpTic's match on Friday. So let's dive in. All right, so let's do a little bit of recap from last week. Friday was tough. We had a lot of toss-ups on Friday, and obviously we took the face side of the Toronto upset. Obviously Boston beat OpTic. Those are the two big ones, but we cleaned house on the weekend and kind of had a good read on those 8 matches. So let's see if we can keep it going into week 2. And I will say, looking at the week 2 calendar, we don't have any top 3 versus top 3 square-offs. We don't have Toronto, say, squaring up against another one of the top 3 teams. That would be like a real banger of a match. We do have some really good mid-pack matchups I think might be bangers, but we have a couple of lopsided matches I think that will be a little boring. So let's get into it. And we're going to start with Thieves versus LAG. And my guess is this one, 93-7 is about how I feel about this. LAG have not looked consistent in their slaying. They did obviously have some close series last week, but I think Thieves are going to make quick work of them. Thieves only dropped a couple maps last week, and I think they are going to get this one done pretty quick. 3-0. Now, this is one I think could definitely go the distance, and I really don't know how to read this matchup. If you click here on the fan predictions, it's 53-46 in favor of Cloud9. They are the betting favorite last that I checked, but only slightly. I just to confirm, Cloud9's like -175 on Bet365 right now. So Minnesota just a slight underdog. And to be honest, I don't know how to read Cloud9 coming into this one. So all that aside, I got a game 5 banger, assuming the Cloud9 tries. And I got Minnesota, who have a little bit more actually trying match experience to clutch this one. I think it's a little bit of a toss-up because we really just don't know much about Cloud9. Because last week, wow, we didn't really learn anything about their squad. All right, next we have Boston versus Miami. This is a real fun series. And I'm a little surprised that the fan prediction is 56-43 on Boston on this one. As you see that they have kind of, the history on this one is pretty split between both teams. But I kind of really liked how Miami played last week. And I think Boston kind of grinded a bunch of game 5, round 11 wins. So I actually have Miami taking this one 3-1. But I won't be surprised if it goes game 5. As well. You know, it's funny, this last match on Friday, Vancouver versus OpTic, wasn't really super interesting coming into Friday, but some recent developments overnight, aka yesterday, kind of somehow this match now has insane storylines. So let's get into it. So if you've been living under a rock or you really haven't been paying attention this week, big news broke yesterday afternoon that Fred from OpTic Texas is going to be taking some time away from the team with some personal issues being reported by CDL Scrim Intel. Now, I need to note that this news broke yesterday, and OpTic has not officially commented yet on this change. So FYI, this is like all rumors, but I think fairly reputable of the situation here. So Pred stepping aside, and Huke, who obviously has been a player that has been much talked about in Challengers, playing very well in Challengers this year, won a cup, will be joining the starting lineup for what we assume is an indefinite period of time. Couple of things here. I know a lot of you are going to ask me about some of the stuff on Twitter and social media yesterday with Pred. I obviously, sent out a tweet that I wasn't a huge fan of some people posting like private DMs they've had with him. I don't really want to comment too much on those issues in this video or in future videos. His personal issues have obviously spilled out to the timeline, and that's not great. It's not ideal, and I hope that everybody involved finds a resolution, but it obviously is going to result in him taking some time away from the team. And I think Kyler's a good ad. He's obviously playing very well, but he's got his own shortcomings as a player, especially on his last stint on OpTic a couple of years ago. So let's see if he can, improve on those things, and maybe, this Major 1, which I assume they'll play with Kyler at this point, based on kind of the timeline of all this. I'm just kind of taking a guess. Will they have a chance to win? I think so. Is their ceiling as high with Huke? I don't know, TBD, but I think OpTic will be fine this weekend. And it's really funny that Huke's first match back is going to be against his former team from last year. Isn't that crazy? Now, Vancouver split their series last weekend, beating Miami but losing to Toronto, and I actually kind of think that's a quality loss to Toronto. So I think the Surge are going to give OpTic a trouble in this one. But this, to me, is a classic 3-1 Vancouver loss. We've seen this a lot from the Surge. I think they're going to hang around this series, but I just don't know versus OpTic, who are just going to have that kind of new energy about who coming in. I don't think Vancouver's going to be able to push them to the brink on a game 5. That being said, though, if it goes to game 5, I think Vancouver have a real chance. So if you're a live better or you're someone that wants to play the over 4.5, maybe lay that with a Vancouver thing, like, you could do it. I don't think OpTic's S&D has been amazing so far this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's a map that Vancouver takes in a series, but if it goes 5, I think Vancouver have a chance. All right, so that is Thursday. Let's move on to Saturday. Toronto versus Vegas Falcons. This, unfortunately for Vegas, until they prove otherwise, they can win these series and win respawn maps. They're playing a good S&D team. Toronto off to a great start this season. I think they're gonna keep the momentum, and this one will be done pretty quickly. And the next series could be a quick one as well. LAG versus OpTic. I'm gonna give LAG a map. I think they'll take one of the first 2 maps, but I just think OpTic again with Huke, with kind of how they're playing, with LAG's lack of slaying. I just don't see how LAG force an upset really in this one at the moment. All right, let's keep it moving and grooving. FaZe versus Carolina Royal Ravens. FaZe 0-2 lastly. Carolina 2-0. Yeah, as you can see here from the pick'ems, it's pretty lopsided on FaZe. I'm gonna give Carolina a map. FaZe haven't looked convincing just yet, but the history of these Carolina players suggests to me that their best chance to maybe force us to 4. But I'll be honest, I probably should predict a 3-0. I just think FaZe is going to kind of cruise at this point in the schedule. They had Toronto and they had Thieves. That Thieves series, I thought they played really good in as well. Just came up short at the end. I think FaZe is going to really go 2-0 this week, and it's going to start with this Carolina matchup. Also, the Crumble lineup wasn't that good this week, so no TJ Howie's superpowers in this one. Vancouver versus Boston. This could be a really, really fun one. I thought the predictions would be about this, and you see that the matchup historically has been split. Obviously, a lot of team changes. I think this is a game 5. One of the cards, and I think Boston will unfortunately toss us one away in 5. But I also won't be surprised if Vancouver just kind of steamrolls Boston and Boston kind of comes back down to earth this week. But I would be very shocked if Boston is the upset in this one. I think the upset against OpTic was great. First match of the season type stuff, but I don't know. I think Vancouver's a little bit more of a disciplined team about them, and I think a Boozer will play better. All right, next up we have Miami versus Toronto Ultra, and this one could be a very fun one. You see Miami in this matchup. Well, the record is not very good. I think Toronto will take this one 3-1. I think Toronto is a much better version of what Miami is also trying to do. We haven't even seen the best of Joe Deceives yet. Kobe's been playing excellent. Ben's been playing excellent. Insight's been playing excellent. On the Miami side, we've had a great weekend from Real and Rencor, but the other 2 players, Lucky Metals, didn't play that good. I think Toronto just in cruise, and I think they take this one in 4. A Miami upset would be big, though, and big momentum for them, but I think a 1-1 week for Miami. You beat Boston, lose to Toronto is really not that bad in the grand scheme of things. And Toronto, by the way, would then lock in probably top seed, or one of the top seeds for the minor 1 tournament. FaZe versus Vegas Falcons. Ooh. This one I'm going to use a boost on, I'll be honest, and this is a 3-0. We saw these teams actually play, exact lineups play at EWC not that long ago. And I just don't see how Vegas is really going to be able to handle FaZe and the respawns. I think FaZe, if I were FaZe, I'd probably just not play Skyline and give these guys any kind of real chance. And just kind of force them to play like a rerun, protocol vault, stuff like that. And they should be able to exert more experience in slaying in this matchup. Cloud9 versus Carolina. Ooh, this is a spicy one. I'm very curious to see the fan prediction. Carolina 40-60. I feel like a lot of people are in on Cloud9 in these predictions, expecting a rebound week, but I think Carolina take this in a game 5 and Cloud9 start 0-4. Maybe I'm tripping and Cloud9 wins one of these, but I think like Carolina is really not that bad. I think their hardpoint's very good, and I won't even be surprised they beat C9 3-1. I just think in this matchup in a vacuum, I have Carolina. So the public might not feel that way, but I do. I think they'll go 1-1 this week, which would be massive. 3-1, huge for them. Start for the season. In the final matchup of the week, the Minnesota Rocker versus the LA Thieves, and I just don't really see this one for Minnesota. In fact, I think Thieves are going to cruise and 3-0 them. I think Minnesota best chance in this one is just getting a takeover series from one of their players. The Thieves guys just getting a little bit complacent because it's the last match for the holiday. But I think Thieves are in too good of a spirit, and the only way they will really lose this again is if Minnesota's hot, where Thieves kind of actually start tossing some of these maps that they've been pretty close to tossing and have tossed right. They've lost 3 maps so far this year, and all 3 of them are ones they probably should have won. So I don't really see the upset for Minnesota. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go ahead. We locked it in. Those are our predictions coming up here for week 2 of the CDL. As always, guys, like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. Make sure you check out our newest episode of Scrap Time, which is the video that was posted before this. On my channel, we talked all these matchups, gave our predictions. I gave some best bets, some predictions on the player side as well. So make sure you check that out. And as always, guys, we'll see you on the next one.